why is an agency review such a go-to move for brands in the first place? I mean, is it putting up a signal that they're like serious business? Is it an inability to look in the mirror? Or is it really the right move to do it as frequently as we're seeing in the industry?
That's a great question. And there are many, many answers to that because obviously reviews happen for different reasons. But there are four major trends, I think, that are contributing, I guess, to these phenomenon. The number one is there's budget pressure in the marketplace, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
So people want to do more with less, and sometimes that means doing it with someone else. Or sometimes that budget pressure means you want maybe to have conversation with your incumbent agency, and the review is a means by which you can maybe renegotiate your deal. So
That
that's
does make sense.
one of the reasons. The second reason is a change in compensation methods. They've been historically the ANA actually do a study, compensation study on a regular basis. 80 plus% of most compensation agreements are labor-based, and there is a desire to move to more of project-based work, competitive bids, as a way again to address some of that budget pressure. So that's maybe a second reason. The third reason I think is interesting to me is the change of leadership's assessment or perception of long-term relationships. It used to be like we thought, wow, long-term relationships are really, really the kind of relationship you want to pursue, right? And the reason for that is because you thought, well, you build institutional knowledge, you build a relationship over the years, you get better work, better value from the work. And that's changing a little bit. And I think it's changing. There may be multiple reasons for that. One might be that there is so much attrition in the marketplace, talent attrition, that you're thinking long-term relationship is a good thing, but the people that you're working with are changing on a regular basis. So that perception, I think, is going away. Long-term relationship doesn't always mean better, especially if your agency is becoming complacent. So that's another reason. So again, long-term is no longer a thing. So maybe reviews becomes kind of a more natural thing across the board. And then the last one is AI. AI is kind of changing the game. Agencies are reacting to AI, they're adopting to AI, they're leading in AI, but not everybody's going to lead and win in a marketplace. So I think the reviews is the way for you to assess who's doing well with it and whether or not, there's a better partner for you, out there.
So I love that. Actually, that kind of opens things and clarifies things a lot, that you're not always doing a review to do a review. There are other areas. You're not always doing, let me say that, you're not always doing a review because you want to get rid of something and get something else. There are things that are triggered by a review that might be the real value that brands are looking for. It's very, very interesting. And you're so right about the attrition in the industry. Before coming to the ANA, I worked at an unnamed big digital agency for about 6 years. And what would happen when the two owning families would switch that 5149 is you'd get a bunch of bright-eyed young folks who would just cut the head off the entire senior leadership team and remake it in their image. And now is like, what's your relationship with the logo? You know what I mean? So like, I really love that. I really love that you brought that up.